All right, sorry, I'm trying to manage everything as we got everybody coming in. So we are going to talk about how to get repeat business from customers. And let me tell you a little bit about the Women's Council of Entrepreneurs in case you aren't familiar with us. We are a support and networking group for women entrepreneurs. Our goal is to provide education like this, as well as networking, mastermind type events. We also have Facebook group where you can go and promote your business on Fridays. So if you are not a member of that, go over there, join that so you can promote your business or specials, anything you have going on Fridays. Our members also get to promote themselves on Wednesdays, and it's a great place to ask questions of women there. So if you have like maybe a new website design that you're putting out, or a new logo, and you're like, I'd like some feedback, it's a great place. You have a ton of women on there who will share feedback, who will help you, who are super sweet and kind. So definitely use that as a resource as you're doing things with your business, or if you have questions, need resources, those types of things. The other thing that we also do, and I'll go back here, is shopasmallbusiness.com, which is a website that you can go to and you can find other women business owners. So whether it's online boutiques, or business-to-business services, real estate agents, those kind of things, you can find all of the WCE members over there. And it's a great resource so that you can support local women-owned businesses. We also want to say a huge thank you to our sponsors who support WCE, and Meghna is one of those who's going to be speaking to y'all today. So we're so happy to have her here sharing, and thanks to all these other businesses that support us. And here is about shopasmallbusiness.com. So definitely it's the website, shopasmallbusiness.com. Go check them out, all those ladies on. And especially as you're doing your holiday shopping, it's a great place to start. All right, so we are going to get started. I know you guys are busy ladies, so I'm going to hand this over to Meghna Patel of the Law Office of Meghna Patel. She is a lawyer in the Houston area, but she also serves all of Texas. So if you are looking for estate planning, probate, guardianship, and of course, business needs. One good thing I think every small business needs is a lawyer to have. You never know when problems are going to come up or when you just need to touch base with somebody. So it's good to have someone that you know you can reach out to about your small business needs. So thank you, Meghna, for being here today and sharing with us about customers and how to get them coming back. We are excited to hear your tips.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you all for being here. So a little bit about me. I've been an attorney for about 11 years, and I went out on my own probably about 5 years ago. And when you go out on your own, you're always like, how am I going to have clients? Who's going to hire me? Like, how do I stand out and set myself apart? Because there's an attorney on every corner, and so what do you do? And so I kind of went into it with the mindset of, I want to make sure I have happy clients, because if I don't have happy clients, there's a big chance I probably won't have any clients. And then what am I going to do? So one of the biggest things that I kind of use in my mind is bad word of mouth goes further than good word of mouth. So we've all had that bad experience. Like, how many of your friends did you tell when you had a bad experience as opposed to when you had a good experience? So they'll probably tell more of their friends when they've had a bad experience, and then you don't want to have that reputation. So I think that when they have a good experience, that naturally generates more business for you because people trust recommendations from their friends. So for me, like when my clients recommend their friends to us, those are the clients that are not shopping around trying to get quotes from every attorney that they've ever heard of. They will meet with us. If they like us, they hire us on the spot because they've been vetted by their friends. They kind of trust you already because my friend used you and she said you were great. And now I want to talk to you and I trust my friend. And it makes your life a lot easier than having somebody who's kind of just shopping around, comparing you to everybody else. And then they might not ever end up hiring you, which could happen anyways. But I think it helps a lot when they've already come vetted from somebody else. So I think the first tip on how to keep your clients and customers coming back is I think you have to deliver exceptional customer service. So you want to be fast, you want to be helpful, you want to provide them with support that makes them feel valued. So for example, if you call our office, somebody will answer or call you back on the same day. There's no 3 days later, we'll call you back. It doesn't matter how busy we are, you're going to get that call back or a response from somebody. Clients tell me all the time, we tried calling other attorneys' offices and nobody ever returned our call and we have a deadline. So that gives them a bad impression right off the bat that nobody is there to even answer their phone call. So many times people will call my office, they remember the name of the receptionist or the paralegal that they spoke to because they remember, and they're paying attention to what kind of personalized service that they get. And I think it's very, very important to have good staff. If your staff is rude or they just don't want to be there, that staff is a reflection of you. And so they need to be trained properly. They need to enjoy them being there and working with you and be happy, fun, friendly people. Because if they're rude right off the bat, those clients are probably not going to come back or call you, and they're probably going to tell their friends, I called their office and that receptionist was so rude to me. And it's just a bad experience right off the bat. And then we've always heard the whole customer is always right. We always have those customers that push our buttons and you know that they're wrong. But at the end of the day, you're going to do what you can to make it right, because that's part of the exceptional customer service that you're delivering so that you can actually have clients. So the other thing I think is having very personalized service. When you meet with that client, you know if they're going to be needy or they're going to need extra hand-holding, and that's just how it goes sometimes. You know they're going to be that difficult client, but well, that just means you have to have that personalized service and go out of your way to do what you can to help them through the process of whatever they're hiring you for. It might not be legal services, whatever it is. Like for example, in our office, we don't treat them like you're just a file, just a client. We know your name, we know why you're coming to us, what your background is. It's in my notes, so anybody can pull up that file and see exactly what that client is coming to us for. They're not just a file. We try to make it very personal. Also in my practice, we have a lot of elderly clients. It's like end of life for them. They might have dementia or memory issues. They need extra help. They don't know how to use that computer. They don't know how to do these things that are just so second nature to us. So that means, we go out of our way to call them or meet with them and go out of our way to do things because they don't know how to do these technology things that we expect them to do. It just comes with the job. You just have to kind of sometimes change how you run things based on personalized service that a client might need. I think consistent communication is really important. Have you ever paid somebody for something and then felt like the minute you paid them, they just disappeared? It's a terrible feeling. And you're like, what did I do? Who did I pay? Am I going to get my money back? You don't ever want to make that client feel like you just wanted their money and then that's it, you just disappeared. So what we do is we keep them updated every step of the way. You're going to get an update from us before you even ask. If that client asks us for an update, then we're too late. That's kind of how we run things. If you file something or there's a hearing coming up or something, they need to have that update before they ask for it. That way they don't feel like they just got lost in the shuffle, right? So that's something that I think is very important. You want to keep them updated with what's going on for whatever they hired you for. So in our office, we have processes in place to make sure things don't fall through the cracks. You don't just get lost in the shuffle. No matter how busy we are, no matter what's going on, you just have to stay very, very organized. We can't, in my practice, we can't miss deadlines. So some of these other businesses, it might not be as deadline driven. Then you have to have extra careful processes in place because there's not really anybody down your, breathing down your neck to make sure you have deadlines and deadlines that you have to meet. So you have to find that process that works for you, that makes sure that you have consistent communication and you have processes in place so that they don't feel like they just got lost in the shuffle. And then reliability, right? When you want somebody to hire you, we go out of our way to make ourselves sound so great and sell ourselves because we want that client to hire us for whatever reason. Well, you don't want to overpromise and then underdeliver, right? You need to keep your promises. If your client cannot trust you to keep your word, they're not going to trust that you're going to do a good job for them and whatever service they hired you for. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you cannot get it done for whatever reason, give them an update. You'll be surprised at how understanding people are. If you tell them, okay, I know I was supposed to get this to you by this date, but give us a couple more days or whatever. Obviously, we try not to do that, but sometimes things just happen. But especially if they've already paid you and then you don't stick to your word, it creates a bad reputation. You have unhappy clients. Keep your promises or give them a realistic timeline. Okay, it might take 1 week, but it might take 2, or just tell them the 2 weeks then instead of the 1 week, and then you get it to them earlier. That's even better. I think it's very important to be relatable and personable. We have so much competition in no matter what area that we work in. And so I think about what you're looking for when you hire somebody. You want to hire somebody, or you want to pay and hire somebody for something when you feel like they understand what it is that you're looking for. They understand you. You can be personable. Like for me, if I come off as a stuffy, uptight attorney, I just know all the laws and I have it all memorized, they don't want to hire you. They're like, you don't understand what I'm going through. And especially like in my practice, we have, estate planning, probates, we're dealing with a lot of death, end of life things, dementia, memory issues, things like that. So if they feel like, oh, she doesn't really understand, she just understands the code, but she doesn't understand how it feels as a family, or like what we're going through, or we're dealing with death, they don't want to hire you because they feel like you don't really understand what they're going through. So we always try to like put ourselves in their shoes, try to understand what they're going through and have empathy. And you just never know, like when you're relatable, you're personable, you do a good job for them, that's what encourages customers or clients to keep coming back to you. You don't know if something happens in their life, they might need you again. You just don't know what's going to happen or where that referral is going to come from when you go out of your way to give them a really good experience and go out of your way to just do what you can to fulfill all of your promises, do everything that they hired you for. Like I said earlier, I think that word of mouth, bad word of mouth goes a lot further than good word of mouth. And I think that some good ways to really have good word of mouth is like give them a wow experience, go beyond their expectations. When the customers talk about your business or the service that you provided them, they should be able to say like, I was very surprised at how exceptional they were. They were amazing. They went above and beyond what I thought they were going to do for me. And that's the kind of wow experience you want to give to them. If you're going to do what everybody else does, there's nothing that's going to set you apart. And sometimes that's just something as minimal as just keeping your promises and doing things on time and keeping your word to them. Another thing that you can do is ask for referrals. I used to work with an attorney who would say, here's 2 business cards, one for you and one to give away. I don't do that, but that's something that people can do. It just encourages them to get like, here, I already have a second business card for you, but then you don't want them to give that business card away and then go back and tell that person, don't use her, give me that card back because it was terrible whenever I worked with her. You don't want that to happen either. Some people offer an incentive. I don't do that, but it works for depending on what area of law of what you're doing. Offering an incentive might help. You can ask for Google reviews on your business page. Anytime somebody leaves us a review, we always respond to that review. And that way they can see that we really do care that you took the time out of your busy day to leave us a review and a thoughtful review and really kind words. Sometimes when I get those reviews, I'm like, wow, that was really nice. Like, I'm glad it makes you feel good. Like we went out of our way for you and you recognize what we did and that we would try to go above and beyond for you. Try to, leverage those customer stories on your website or social media. See if you can do that to kind of help grow your business, because I think social media is a big tool right now. It can be a bad thing as well. If you have people leaving bad reviews for you because you did such a terrible job for them, that's not going to be good for you either. So that's kind of how we look at it as well. Like, I don't want a customer to hire me and then put a terrible review out there because we were so terrible. Like, you have to be very careful of that. Let's see. So I think that the big takeaway here is that, evaluate your processes and determine what you can do to enhance your response time to clients. What can you do to give them an exceptional, amazing experience? Because I think that when there is good word of mouth, it's like a cycle of growth. They will continuously keep coming back to you or keep telling people about you, and your business will grow, and it just continues to grow. Do a good job and do what you say you're going to do. And I think that that's the big key. Any questions?
Does anybody have any questions? I mean, I was frantically writing down. I know it's things that we know, but hearing it in the way that you said it and just, I can say things like to meet your client at their level, especially since you work with elderly people, and not being frustrated with them, because I think we sometimes disregard their feelings, like, I think about when my teenager gets annoyed with me. It's like, geez, I'm sorry, but then I turn around and do it to my own mother, and it's like meeting them at their level and just making them feel comfortable is is so important. And those are the things that are going to be so memorable. It's like, what's that quote where it's like, it's not what you say, it's how you make people feel, or it's your actions. So that one definitely stood out to me. And definitely the processes. I think we're all so busy, things do fall through the cracks, and admitting your mistakes is so important. And just like you said, giving an update before like they have to reach out to you to see where you're at. It's those little small things that are going to make you stand out.
Definitely. Sure. And if you mess up, don't make excuses. Like things happen. We're human. Just apologize, take ownership and responsibility for what went wrong, and make it right. If that means giving them some money back or whatever you have to do, make it. If you mess up, sometimes just an apology is not enough, depending on how severe it was.
Right. But yeah, just simply saying, I'm so sorry. Like, or like you said, give an update before, like you can see that the timeline is coming and you're not at your marks. Just email them and be like, hey, things didn't sort out the way I thought. I'm going to need a couple more days. I mean, I know I've had that before. I'm like, okay, no problem, but if it gets past the days that I was supposed to have the thing, it's like, and then that's the thing, you start to feel like, did I get scammed? I don't know if it's like the new era we're living in where we're getting scammed by people. It's like, then you start to feel that way. Like, oh, was that a scam? Did they steal my money? Like, so I just want to make sure nobody else has any questions or comments for Meghna, because I mean, I can't say enough about it. Like I said, I was like taking notes, and it's the things that but you don't necessarily implement. So
definitely.
All right. Okay. Her website is there. Did you want to throw your information in the chat too? So you do estate planning. What are the things that you focus on in your law firm? So we know for sure.
Sure, yeah. So we do estate planning, probates, and guardianships, and then business formation. So like wills, trusts, powers of attorney, and then if we have to like administer somebody's estate upon their death, and then if someone's losing capacity and we have to get guardianships over them, or if you need to form an LLC, form a business and form an LLC or a partnership or something like that, then we do all of that as well.
Okay, great. Because I know the estate planning and the probate and all that is very tricky, and you don't really want to go in that with, you don't want to leave that mess for your family. Because I know my mom is dealing with that with her mother right now. It's very stressful. Yes. And an already emotional time anyway. So, all right. Well, thank you so much. And thank you everybody for coming. We try and make these quick so we can move on with our day and, start implementing these things. So make sure you do that action item. And if you have any more questions or, need a lawyer, get a hold of Meghna. She's amazing. So join us next month where we're talking with Deborah King. She's going to give us 5 tips to elevate your mindset and set goals for the new year. Oh, the new year. Like, I don't want to think about that's just around the corner.
I do have a question. I starting my own small business here, and everybody has different answers, so I figured I'd ask here. Do you have to have a LLC and like a I don't even know what it's called, like a tax ID type thing when you're just starting? Like, we don't make thousands and stuff. Like, we're very, very little. So like, what all do I have to get going? Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. Feel free to call me. I'm happy to talk to you, but just the general answer, it's better to have an LLC, because if for some reason, even when you grow, or even now, whether you have even just a little bit of business, if somebody sues you, if something goes wrong, they can come after your personal assets if you don't have an LLC. And so if you have a limited liability corporation set up, they're limited to the actual LLC itself.
Okay.
It just gives you some protection. And then once you do create the LLC, you do have to have a tax EIN number through the IRS. And then your business is associated with that EIN number.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the beginning. Starting a business is another very confusing, stressful thing. And there's so many options, and you go on the government websites and you're like, what does this even mean? So, Yes.
There's a lot of bad information out there too.
Yes, there is. There really is. All right. So if you have any startup questions as well, forming your LLC or anything like that, please contact her. Did you throw your information in the chat? So it's,
Yes.
All right. So make sure you contact her. And we are going to hop off here and let everyone get on with their day. I hope you guys have an amazing Thursday and the rest of the week. And hopefully we'll see you next month. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.